What's up guys, welcome back to another reaction video. Today's reaction video is 5 ways British and American grocery stores slash supermarkets is what we call them are very different. This is another Lost from a Pond video. If you've never heard of Launch, go and check him out. It's an awesome channel. The concept is he's a British guy living in America and now he discovers what was lost in the pond when the British obviously colonised the US, which then became independent. And what are the differences? Well, let's get straight into this reaction, guys. I am very keen for this one because I am very familiar with the British supermarkets, but not very familiar with your grocery stores. Let's get straight into it. Hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe if you're new. What we got? I'm excited for this one.
So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this fun? Hello, I'm Lawrence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to grocery stores, or should I say supermarkets, because that's what we call them in the UK. Weirdly, I've been doing this channel now for about nearly 5 years, and I don't think I've really ever touched on the major differences between grocery stores and supermarkets. That is probably because the nauseating experience of walking around said stores is second only to malls. I'll be honest with you, we get our shopping delivered. Haven't had to walk into a grocery store in about 3 years. But I did do some research, so it's fine. And so without further ado, let's take a look at 5 big ways that British and American grocery stores slash supermarkets are so very, very different.
I nailed the slash supermarkets. I had no clue that was coming up, and I nailed it. Let's go. British people think alike, you know?
Layout, yes, layout. As you can probably imagine, the layout of American grocery stores tends to be slightly different to that of Britain, but that makes sense. I mean, the United States itself is laid out quite differently to Britain. I don't just mean it's a different shape. I mean,
and it's bigger.
It incorporates different shapes. I did a video on this. Basically, America is obsessed with rectangles. Anyway, that's not connected to today's video. I think this difference might have changed a little bit in recent years. For instance, it's a common practice in both countries now to put the fresh veg right near the entrance section to give this illusion of health as you walk in, and then you walk over to the chocolate and everything falls apart. But other than that, as you're walking around the stores in both countries, you will see the odd difference, sometimes very odd difference. So for instance, in some British grocery stores slash supermarkets, you know, you might find the eggs not in the dairy section. What's that all about? And since I've moved to America, that seems to make sense, right? It's with the cheese, it's with the milk, the whipped cream. And sort of genre-wise, that does make sense. But sometimes you will find things like eggs just, you know, hanging around with the beans in England. And not...
Yeah, they are just in random places. You don't go to the dairy for eggs, you go to the egg section. Which makes no sense. So I'm with you guys on that one. Should go in the dairy.
Refrigerated either. That's a shocking thing
not
for a
refrigerated.
lot of Americans when they see that. The wine section might be found in a different spot to where you'd find it in US grocery stores. Across both countries, though, it's always going to differ, especially depending on the actual store itself. So keep an eye out for that. And kind of connected to layout is our next entry. I've said it before and I'll say it again, size is not everything, though you probably wouldn't believe that if you saw the difference between UK supermarkets and American grocery stores. I used to think as a kid that whenever my mum would drag me around Asda, which is one of our major supermarkets, that particular supermarket was absolutely huge.
Asda's
and then I
big.
moved to America and I was equally dragged around Walmart. And in recent years, the comparison between the two has become quite apt, and that is because Walmart owns Asda. But the fact remains that Asda, most of them anyway, are not located within their own zip code, postcode. Whereas Walmart, it might as well have its own zip code. They're absolutely huge. They're so large, in fact, that just walking around the perimeter is enough for your weekly exercise. Which I suppose is good considering all of the calories that you're about to buy. And because Walmart, and to a lesser extent Kroger, are absolutely massive, that means you have the following. In the United Kingdom, nationwide, you've got the likes of Sainsbury's, Tesco, Morrison's, Asda. So we have choice in that regard, but once you get inside the stores, we probably don't have quite as much to offer as the United States, who, for instance, provide you with about 27 varieties of Coca-Cola.
What? 27 varieties? That's insane. Surely you just need a couple. You got your main Coca-Cola brand, potentially the supermarket's own, like what we normally have. Your main one, Coca-Cola. Then you got Morrison's Coke, and then you got like your Pepsis, and then you got a few others, potentially. Probably not. That's probably your main 3 and potentially have 1 extra other. That's about it. You got like 27. That's mad. I
haven't tried them all. In fact, I've barely tried any of them. But the rule seems to be that the brighter the packaging, the more varieties there'll be. And also the brighter the packaging, the least healthy it'll be. So to reiterate, American aisles have more variety than British aisles. That was a joke. Wordplay. British Isles. You got it. We're good.
kinda
Walmart
got it.
has such variety. You can even buy auto parts. They're usually at the back of the store, which is not the best place between you and me, because what if you're buying a big hefty tire? How are you going to get that out? You could roll it. That's true. In fact, that sounds amazing. I might do that next time I'm in Walmart. I've just remembered I'm never going back in a Walmart. So we're good. And I don't drive. And speaking of purchases, once you get to the till/cash register, there's another chief difference between our two countries. I have
Oh, not sales tax. And again, we have covered this loads on the channel. It's mad. Obviously, the UK have VAT, which I think he's going to mention in. I call it a till as well. You guys call it a cash register. But your sales taxes, depends what state you're in as well, which is so confusing. And it gets, why can't you just add it onto the price? Why have you got to add it when you get to the till? It's just so confusing. You think, oh, I got $4.10 left. Oh, it is $4.05. Let's go. Grab it. Sorry, that's $5. Like, what? It makes no sense. I completely get it with being over it on my channel a lot, but come on. Just add it to the price, and then your tax is included, and it makes sense. No? Let me know in the comments if you agree with that or not.
I have to admit, this one got me long before I moved to the United States, when I was visiting the state of Maine in 2004. I walked into a music shop, as you do. I much prefer music shops to supermarkets anyway. And I purchased a ukulele. I think I talked about this very recently. And in doing so, of course, I looked at the price. $15, which is cheap.
Perfect.
I mean, don't ever do that again. It was good while it lasted, but it didn't last very long. So I took it to the counter expecting to pay exactly that in three $5 bills, only to be told, you know, $17.32. I mean, I'm making that number up in hindsight. I didn't really get where that additional $2 came from. And it turns out that sales tax is applied at the point of sale, whereas in the United Kingdom, what you see on the price tag in the aisle itself is exactly what you'll pay for that
Makes
item.
sense.
So there's
Includes
no surprises
tax.
when you get to the till. I should say that, you know, I think in England, even when I'd go grocery shopping, I didn't calculate in my head each item as I went along, so I never really had a great idea about what that total was going to be anyway. It's usually when you're just purchasing single items this problem first arises. But anybody that's visiting America from the UK who usually doesn't give a second thought to VAT, you will have to give thought to sales tax, which is kind of the equivalent here of VAT. And like I said, that sales tax is not applied to the whole store before you even go in. You'll see it applied to your receipt after the fact. It's not a huge deal. I got used to it, you know, after a couple of years. And one thing I'm still getting used to, though, is our final entry.
Brands,
yes, brand differences, and I'm not talking about, you know, this particular brand that you simply can't get an equivalent of in the UK. No, I'm talking about the exact same object, or typically food item, that has the same font and everything and look about it, but a completely different name. Take, for instance, Axe versus Lynx. They're deodorants, don't eat them. I'm not...
No, that is such a rip-off Lynx. What? No, come on.
Lynx, they're...
Like, no. I just thought it was Lynx at first. I thought it was a version of Lynx when I saw that. You can't be doing that, man.
Don't eat them. I'm not suggesting these are all food items, but if you are a 14-year-old boy, you know what Axe deodorant is, or Lynx. They are exactly the same thing. They both have an X in it, much like an inordinate amount of brand differences, actually. You've got TJ Maxx versus TK Maxx. You've got ExxonMobil versus Esso. You've got Dove versus Galaxy. Alexa, what are they going to change your name to? I don't have Alexa. That was just a joke. But if you're from the US and you go over to the UK and you're walking around the shopping aisles and you're looking out for crisps/potato chips, and you see one that looks a little bit like Lay's, you know, Lay's, the American crisp company.
Is you going to go on to Pringles and Lay's, because there's a version of Pringles which is called Lay's, which isn't as good as the Pringles, because Pringles is original. But my question to you guys, if you've made it this far, let me know your favourite Lay's/Pringles flavour in the comments. I'd really appreciate that. Sour cream is mine. Sour cream is stunning. And then ready salted after that. Let me know what yours is in the comments.
It'll be called Walker's, but it has the exact...
Oh, never mind. We've just gone with Walker's. Sorry. I thought we was going on with Pringles route. We're going with, let me know your Walker's or Lay's. But you know what I mean? Pringles, tube. You've got to have them in the US. I imagine you do. That's not a stupid thing to say, I don't think. Let me know your favourite Pringles flavour. And let me know your favourite Lay's/Walker's. My Walker's one would be prawn cocktail. Love a Walker's prawn cocktail.
Exact same font. Everything else about it is the same.
That's
except
mad.
for some of the flavours, bear that in mind. And some of the chocolate seems to live in an entirely different universe. Literally, in some cases, like I said before, the British Galaxy bar is Dove in America.
I've never heard of Dove.
Milky Way is Three Musketeers.
Oh,
and
wow.
Mars is Milky Way. It's all one star cluster of monumental differences, and of course there are absolutely loads. So next time you're in the other country, why not play a game of, oh look, it's that thing we have back home, but they call it something wildly different. Isn't this
I'm definitely
fun?
going to do that.
Yeah, you might get bored after a while, but send me your pictures. It will be amazing. That's it for this episode. Let me know in the comments below some of the observations you've made over the differences between a British supermarket and an American grocery store.
Yes, let me know in the comments as well. I'd really appreciate it, guys. Definitely quite a few differences. Obviously, size was definitely going to come into effect with obviously it being America and the UK. You guys just do everything bigger. Brand choices. Well, sorry. Choices. I didn't realise you had so many. That is insane. Literally, you can never go wrong. Eventually, you'll find a version of it you will like. The brand thing, though, that's mad. That Lynx and the Axe, I only know it as Lynx. But they've absolutely ripped Lynx off there. Let me know what you guys think about that in the comments. And again, yeah, Pringles didn't get mentioned, but let me know your favourite Pringle flavour in the comments below, guys. Have a fantastic day. I hope you've enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you have. Subscribe if you're new. And I'll see you in the next one. Peace.